Welcome to my channel A2P from Access to Phoenix. In the last video we had started double sideband suppressed carrier signals and we have already learned the modulation of DSBC signals using single ballast modulator. The link of the video will be given in the description box and in the iTab as well, so you can watch the video if you want. In this video we will learn the other modulation process to modulate DSBC signals, that is by double ballast modulator, which is also called ring modulator. The modulating circuit consists of 4 diodes and a bandpass filter is used to pass a particular band of frequencies to get our desired DSBC signal. So the modulating circuit is like this. The message signal is given at this point, suppose it is empty, and the carrier signal is used to center tap the transformer like this. The transformers have trans ratio 1:1 in both cases, that is whatever voltage is there at the primary side will actually be found at the secondary side as well. Now here the carrier signal is generally taken to be a square wave like this, and the 4 diodes are connected in this way. Now to understand the working of this modulator, let me discuss it in 2 parts. First, we will discuss it without using the message signal, and then we will introduce the message signal to get the desired DSBC signal at the output. So first let us discuss without using the message signal. So this is the equivalent circuit, and the carrier signal is used to center tap the transformer. In the positive half cycle of CT, that is when CT is positive, then current from this side goes here and moves towards opposite direction. Now when this signal is positive, then the positive part goes here and here. This diode 1, since comes in forward bias, is replaced by a short circuit, but this diode and this diode is encountered and hence they are replaced by an open circuit. Similarly, here the diode will be replaced by short circuit, so the equivalent circuit looks like this. Here the direction of current is like this, and you can see same amount of current is flowing into opposite directions. So the net current is actually 0, that is the induced current or voltage due to this side to this side is 0. So no extra current or voltage is obtained at this side. So we can conclude that at this side we are getting pure output and no current is induced due to this side. So this is when we are taking the carrier signal in the positive half cycle. Now I encourage you to do it for the negative half cycle as well and see what you get in that case. So pause the video and do that and share your outcome at the comment box. In this case also you will find that the currents are opposite in direction and have same value, so no induced current or voltage will be found at this side. Now let us come to the case which we are actually concerned with, that is using both the carrier signal and the message signal. So let us introduce the message signal. So this is the circuit in this case. The carrier signal is used at these 2 points like this. Now let us see what happens in the positive half of message signal. In the previous diagram, we have learned that when CT is positive, then D1 and D2 are in forward bias and replaced by short circuit, and D3 and D4 are in reverse bias and replaced by open circuit. And when CT is negative, then D1 and D2 are in reverse bias and D3 and D4 are in forward bias. So the equivalent circuit will be this. Here, since the trans ratio is 1:1, so at this point also we will get empty, which will come across here, and it will be induced at this point as well. So when CT is positive and MT is positive, VIT is empty, and when CT is negative, then the equivalent circuit will be this. In this case, since CT is negative, D3 and D4 are forward biased and D1 and D2 are reverse biased. So this is the equivalent circuit, and you can see due to the transformer of trans ratio 1:1, at this point we will get empty. This positive part will go in this direction, and we will get this polarity, which is minus of empty. And using this transformer, at this point also we will get minus of empty. So when CT is negative and MT is positive, VIT is minus of empty. Similarly, find the value of VIT for these two cases. You will find that for this case it will be minus of empty, and for this case it will be plus of empty. And don't think that these are of no use. These four cases will be very useful to draw the output graph of DSPSC signal. Now let us proceed. So when CT is positive and MT is positive also, then Vin will be positive with respect to MT. And when CT is negative and MT is again positive, then Vin will be negative with respect to MT. Similarly, for CT equals positive and MT to be negative, we will get Vin to be positive with respect to MT, and for CT to be negative and MT to be negative again, we will get Vin to be negative with respect to MT. That means for positive half of CT, Vin is positive, and for negative half of CT, Vin is negative. So we can write Vin, or rather VIT, to be CT into MT, where CT is a periodic square wave signal. Like this, and it is given by this. Now let us find the values of Fourier constants. So A0 is this. In this duration CT is 1, and in this duration CT is minus 1. So this will be 2 upon Tc into integration of dt from Tc upon 4 to minus Tc upon 4 minus integration of dt from Tc upon 4 to 3 Tc upon 4, and ultimately we will get this equals to 0. Now An will be 2 upon Tc integration from minus Tc upon 4 to 3 Tc upon 4 Pt into cos n omega ct into dt, again dividing this range in two parts. So minus Tc upon 4 to Tc upon 4 Pt cos n omega ct into dt plus 3 Tc upon 4 from Tc upon 4 Pt cos n omega ct into dt. And after solving this mathematically, we will get this, and since it's an even function, Bn will be 0. So Ct is 0 plus summation from n equals to 1 to infinity 1 upon n pi 3 sin n pi upon 2 minus sin 3 n pi upon 2 into cos n omega ct. And this is for all odd values of n, because only odd harmonics will be present and the even harmonics will be 0. So VIT will be MT into CT, that is this. I just used n equals to 2 here also, so that you can understand why the even harmonics are not present. You can see this is 3 into sin pi minus sin 3 pi, so this whole part will be 0, and we will be left with this. and the frequency spectrum of this equation is this. Now let us see what will be the output graph. The empty signal is this and the carrier signal is a square wave. Like this. The graph of CT will be much more compact than this, but for understanding I have drawn it like this. Now you have to draw the graph for VIT. Now here CT is positive and MT is positive, so VIT will be MT. Then MT is positive but CT is negative, so VIT will be minus of MT. Here again CT is positive, so it will be positive again. Then it's negative. Next at this point MT is positive and CT is negative, so it will be negative. Then MT is negative and CT is also negative, so it will be positive. And ultimately we will get this. The output still have some square wave characteristics, and we know square wave is a combination of infinite number of sine waves, that is infinite number of sine waves combinedly can form a square wave, which means the frequency domain of this signal consists of a number of odd harmonics of sine wave. Now when this VIT is passed through the bandpass filter, all the odd harmonics except this will get suppressed by the bandpass filter. The output graph will be this, and this is the DSBC signal, and it will be given by VOT equals to MT into 4 upon pi cos of omega CT, and the frequency domain will look like this, where you can see the carrier signal is suppressed and two sidebands are present. The output of this balanced modulator consists of the product of message signal and the carrier signal, but the message signal and the carrier signal are not individually present. That is, the modulating circuit is balanced about both message signal and the carrier signal, and hence ring modulator is called double balanced modulator. And since at the output of both single balanced modulator and double balanced modulator we find the product of message signal and carrier signal, the modulators used to modulate DSBC signals are also called product modulator. So with that we have completed the modulation processes to modulate DSBC signals. In the next video we will discuss about the demodulation process of DSBC signals. I hope the video has cleared your concept on ring modulator or double balanced modulator, and the working is very much understood by you. If the video was helpful, then before leaving give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Share your feedbacks about the video in the comment box, and being a new visitor to this channel, consider subscribing the channel and clicking the bell icon so that you can get notified as soon as I publish a new video. Thanks for watching. Do well.